Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and we're now going to be dealing with a reading question that asks us to evaluate a number of potential answers to an open question. The way that you should think about these is as if they were thesis statements that you were thinking of writing for a simple paper assigned in your English class, and you're trying to figure out which would be the most appropriate to argue for. So you're going to be looking for evidence that backs up these statements or that contradicts them, so you can scratch that out and move on to the next one. So let's go ahead and approach these together. What about the letter was surprising to Russell? So the first option that we have for answering this question is that Johnson and Brown were laying him off after so many years. So what would have surprised Russell is that Johnson and Brown are actually laying him off after so many years. But it says here that the decision didn't come as a surprise to him. The letter did. There's something about the letter that was surprising to him, and not really about the decision. He knew that Johnson and Brown were eventually going to lay him off, that they were about to decide that, so this cannot be the answer. As for the second option here, it says the decision was justified with financial excuses. Well, we do see that he reacts as though he were surprised when he finds out, but to use such a feeble excuse as financial feasibility of keeping him on seems to show that some surprise on his part. And then you also have the fact that here it says Mulligan had made little attempt to conceal his dislike for Russell, and apparently even less to formulate a believable reason. So it does look like he was a little bit shocked to see that financial excuses were used. So we're going to go ahead and keep this as a potential option for now. It says, for the third one, it says, Mulligan was annoyed with Russell for being so reactionary. So this statement also looks very appealing, I'm sorry, in that it is true. You see that Russell is reacting to a lot of what Mulligan is bringing in. He fought with Mr. Mulligan, his new boss, over almost every change at the company, it says. So Mulligan may be thinking that Russell is reactionary. However, it doesn't actually say anywhere that he thinks that he's reactionary. And Russell himself says that he's trying to keep things as they have always been. He's trying to keep his company the same company that it has been for the 9 years that he has been there. So really, it isn't really a matter of being reactionary as much as being traditionalist. And we have no way of knowing what Mulligan thinks of him because we're reading everything from Russell's point of view right now. So let's go ahead and scratch this one out. The fourth option is that the company was giving him an excellent pension. Well, if you go back to the first paragraph, you'd see that it actually says explicitly that he's not receiving a pension. In fact, he believes that part of the reason that he's being fired right now is that he was just shy of receiving it. So this isn't the right answer either. As for this last one, Mulligan truly disliked Russell, and Russell was hurt. Well, we see over here that it says, it was also surprising to Russell how hurtful these revelations were to him. As a salesman, he was supposed to be likable. So he definitely is surprised by the fact that Mulligan really disliked him. And something that he was very surprised by was how hurtful these revelations were to him. And these revelations being the two from the previous sentence, that Mulligan made little attempt to conceal his dislike for him, or to even formulate a believable reason for firing him. So, while forming a believable reason that he was justified with financial excuses is part of it, this is the better answer in that it gets to the crux of why Russell was surprised by the letter. He wasn't really surprised by the decision itself, by the excuse itself. He was surprised by the dislike behind the excuse and the fact that Mulligan wouldn't even take the time to come up with a valuable, more convincing excuse to give to him. He wasn't expecting to be hurt by this, and he was surprised to be hurt by it. So this is the correct response, as you can see here from the sentence starting on line 34. I hope that this helped with this passage, and for this sort of problem in general, just make sure that you read very carefully and that you underline pieces of evidence that can serve to back up your claim. Good luck with this, and happy prepping.